You're watching a Big Z review. Afterburn is a new action movie that is just coming out in the theaters this week. And I did not even know it was coming out. I literally just saw my theater was having it. I was like, that looks kind of interesting. I watched the trailer and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And it's fine.
When the solar flare hit, we lost our humanity. You saw what people did to the world burn. Jake, you have a gift for acquiring treasures.
And what would I be hunting down this time?
Mona.
The Mona Lisa?
So I am a bit of a comic collector, and I've actually never heard of this comic or the comic company. It's this indie comic company called Red 5, and one of their biggest hits, I guess, was Afterburn. And it was written by Scott Chitwood, and essentially it's after like a post-apocalyptic event where a solar flare destroyed most of the eastern hemisphere of the world. And it's now you're in London and France afterwards. And your character Jake, the main character Jake, he is like a mercenary that's hired to collect things that the leaders of the world that are still around want. And this movie is directed by J.J. Perry. I think this is like his first feature film. I think he was mostly a stuntman. And I think he's like part of the stunt crew for John Wick. Maybe like one assistant director or something. And you see at a certain point Daniel Bernhardt appears again. He's like a John Wick guy. He played multiple guys in John Wick and the Nobody franchises. He's like the evil lieutenant to General Volkov, played by Christopher Hivju from Game of Thrones. And Dave Bautista plays Jake, the lovable mercenary that has a cool dog that he leaves locked up in an old boat with hopefully some water and food. But essentially, then there's this King August, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who's doing like a weird accent. Then every once in a while he goes back into his normal Samuel L. Jackson voice. But like he hires Dave Bautista to go find and steal the Mona Lisa from where they secreted away like in the early aftermath of the solar flare. And then that's essentially the movie. It's like, I mean, this is the post-apocalyptic world in the vein of Mad Max, where there's a lot of leather, like, and there's still a lot of cars, and everyone has bullets and guns, and they have flashlights and batteries and everything, but like there's still apparently no civilization to speak of. But in this world, apparently Samuel L. Jackson rules London, rules UK, and Christopher Hivju, as General Volkov, rules France. And he's definitely a bit of the Hitler occupation, the Nazi occupation of France. It's definitely Nazi-ish, his symbol and all the stuff about him. But essentially then you have these rebels, and that's like your second main character is Olga Kurylenko as Drea. She was like the Bond girl in the worst of the newer Bond films. And she is just like a French rebel that she's helping him like deal with the military and supposed to help him steal the Mona Lisa and find where it's hidden and everything. And this movie, I've seen a lot worse, but it's not good. And I mean, it feels like a straight-to-video on-demand movie. That's what I was like so surprised it actually appeared in my theater. But I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I mean, it's funny. There's some action scenes, they're like brutal. There are some good action scenes with like really a lot of gory violence. But like there's also a lot of just them like traveling around the country and like from warehouse to warehouse. Like, it does not look like France at all. And there's also like, there's no destruction. It's just whatever warehouse they rented to film the movie. But like, it's fine. I had a good time. I like Dave Bautista. He gets it does all his acting in his forehead wrinkles. But like, I mean, there's some driving. There's like, it's funny though. He has this cool like Chevy like off-roading vehicle, off-road truck, and it's like, oh, it is bulletproof. And then you see the truck like flying around, and you see like when you get in and out, the panels of the truck are like, you see that this truck is for stunts, but like, it's like as light as could be. It's definitely not bulletproof unless there's some magic metal in this post-apocalyptic world. But who cares? This is the kind of film that I still had a good time. You turn your brain off and watch an action flick. But I wouldn't recommend checking out in theaters. But like, if it eventually ends up on Netflix, like, I think it'd be a fine thing to watch at night. In the evening and at home to watch a decent action flick. But it's not special. It's very mediocre. I'd probably give it like a 6.75 out of 10. It's fine, but don't go out of your way to see it. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.